Yes, friends, what's going on? Welcome on back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. As always, really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News, the daily series here on the channel where I reflect on what's been said about Chelsea. Going to react to a long read on The Athletic. Well, maybe not that long. What's happening with Chelsea? What next? They're world champions of the world. Will we ever get bored of saying that? No. And also, some of you may have seen on social media circulating this post from Jose E. Feliciano, which is, of course, the co-owner of Clear Lake Capital, Chelsea's majority shareholder, owner, speaking on the Club World Cup Championship. Here it is. It's giving LinkedIn. It's 2 days ago, this post. It's been circulating around social media as of yesterday. It's pretty crazy. I'm assuming this is legitimate because no one's calling it out as nonsense. But I do want to read what he said because it's a pretty bold statement. It's obviously easier to come out with some big, strong stuff after you've won such a, I'll say it is a big trophy, but a big performance, a statement performance against a team in PSG, widely regarded as the best team in the world. We slapped him. Sorry for those of you wearing headphones. We slapped him. They very much wanted to win it, as did everyone else in the competition who thought they could. So very interesting to see what he says there. Guys, welcome back. Strap yourselves in. Thank you for joining me. I've tried to rearrange some of the shirts. I added a couple back there. Welcome back to Football Therapy. Please do consider supporting the content. Ooh, we are on the road to 200,000 subscribers. So thank you for liking and subscribing if you do want to support me. Guys, if you haven't watched the upload from yesterday, check it out. We spoke about the tactics moving into next season under Enzo Maresca, what he could be doing next, like in terms of player positioning, formations, tactics. It's kind of fun. It was fun, so if you're yet to watch it, I'd gently waft you over into that direction to go check it out, man. But we are going to start on this. Or should we start on the Feliciano quotes? Let's start on the Feliciano quotes, react to that, and then we can mosey on down through the Athletic article together. You and I, hand in hand, romantically. So we are assuming this is real. It does look like LinkedIn. It's giving LinkedIn. Jose E. Feliciano, a co-founder and managing partner at Clear Lake Capital. He says the following. We won the FIFA Club World Cup. Congrats, Chelsea Football Club. It's still not finished, brackets, very few things are. But after a few years where, like the great footballing philosopher, ice cold emoji face 3 times, recently said, quote, everyone's talked a lot of S-word about us, ... end quote. It's a great finish to the season with 2 trophies, a win against a formidable European champion, I'd have to agree, and qualification for the Champions League next season. Sort of rounding up Feliciano the achievements of the campaign that's just finished. What we wrote last year, it still stands. We believe we need to be doing the following, says Jose E. Feliciano. He says this. 1. Consistently winning or contending for the Premier League and the Women's Super League titles. Deep that. Consistently winning or at least competing for Premier League titles. Ooh, inject. Consistently playing in the Champions League and competing for domestic, brackets, and international, like the Club World Cup, cups. Never leaving that. So he's basically like, make Chelsea great again, but almost even greater. Because under Abramovich, we weren't consistently fighting for titles. We won 5 Premier Leagues in, wherever it was, 18 or I don't know how many years. A long time. Consistently competing for titles across all the youth age groups, which of course is very important for Chelsea. We've got a very proud developmental, youth level academy. Developing and discovering the next generation of footballing talent for the benefit of the club. Now, that is the big one, isn't it? Because this is what the new Chelsea are big about. They will trade, they'll player trade, they'll sell friggin' all players to rivals. Maybe Jackson goes to friggin' Man United, etc. But they will always bring in new young talent. Your Penders, your Santos, your Paezes, your Palmers, your Estevals, your Kenders. You know, this is what they want to do. They want to constantly bring them in for the benefit of the club, whether that's being good enough to play for Chelsea or indeed to sell on for them peas fam. For the benefit of the club. Being responsible actors and contributors to our community while meeting financial fair play and other regulatory requirements, which clearly they've been done so far, apart from, you know, the open dialogue with UEFA that they try and smooth things out. Earning the trust, here's a big one. Here's the big one. Bring it. He's landing the plane, ladies and gentlemen. Earning the trust and confidence of our supporters. Please know that everyone at the club is relentlessly focused on delivering that. Excited to play Champions League next season, brackets, where we belong. And the Premier League again. Again, congrats team. Wow. I mean... always winning the Premier League, or at least competing, never leaving the Champions League. The women's team good, the academy good, getting the best young talent. You know, always never breaking any rules, never being in trouble. You know, it's literally like, we're going to be the best team ever. Look, it's easy to track swing when you've just won this trophy against PSG. But, and it's, do you remember when the sporting directors did that interview with Matt Law? It's when we were like in a title race and they sort of emerged from the caverns like, let's talk to the media. And then they obviously fizzled away when the going got tough again, which in a way is cowardice, but in a way, I get it. People won't want to hear you then. They're like, look, we'll prove to you the project will work, and then we'll reiterate our designs. Seemingly that's happened. Look, it's a step forward, this Club World Cup, but what comes next? Now, that brings us on to this long read from Twomey and Johnson. The detective duo. No, they both write for The Athletic as Chelsea correspondents. Chelsea are champions of the world. That may sound strange to many fans at the end of a season in which Maresca's team finished 4th in the Premier League and lifted UEFA's 3rd tier competition. But there can be no diminishing the emphatic manner in which they're... Sorry, that's me spanking PSG's behind derrière again. 1, 2, 3. 3 buts. Nous gagnons le Coupe du Monde. Yeah, we slapped PSG 3-0 in the MetLife Stadium. We got $114.6 million do, boys. That triumph and the financial windfall opens up a world of possibilities. It also raises a number of questions about what happens next at Chelsea. Questions that the Athletics will attempt to answer. What will they do with the cash? Well, firstly, the players and the coaching staff will receive a sizable bonus, which will be equivalent of winning the Champions League. Yeah, they're happy boys. And any women on the staff, if there are. This is all keeping in Chelsea's policy of handing out incentivized contracts and rewarding success. Something that I've always asked for long before these owners in the Roman Abramovich era. I've always wanted like more data-led stuff and incentivized contracts. I'm not going to bang this drum too much, but the mercenary model is, and has been dying. The sudden injection of extra revenue has made no difference to Chelsea's transfer plans, though. They're already happy with the business. Pedro, Delap, Gittins. More rivals could be made, of course, but that will be dependent on departures. The main focus for the time being, the plan is to smooth more exits than incomings before the end of the window, and we ruddy need it, ladies and gentlemen. The club have a number of squad members they need to get out, yada, yada, yada. Those lists include Raheem Sterling. I mean... I've been thinking about Raheem Sterling, and I'm thinking Turkey, high wages, Champions League clubs, would like his sort of profile of player. I'm struggling, bro, otherwise. Ben Chilwell, yeah, sad story. Hopefully he can still find a Premier League club. I don't know. Joao Felix, hopefully we can get him to Benfica. Old Rennie Vega, he's got a few high-profile suitors. Armando Bria, I still think he needs a loan for us to but raise up his transfer valuation again. Leslie Ugochukwu, he's got loads of suitors. And Disassi has got a surprising amount of suitors, as Matt Law said in the Londoners Blue podcast. His data as a centre-back is actually quite alluring for many clubs. provided you're not farming him out at right back. Among many possible remaining transfers, Chelsea are looking at Man United's Alejandro Garnacho. I'm sorry. Aston Villa's Morgan Rogers, which, you know, Cole Palmer would be very happy about, his Chile brother. They've also made an inquiry for Ajax defender Jarell Hato, which I am quite interested in. I must say, Jarell Hato looks like a appropriate player for us. Kukurea back up. How will this affect pre-season? Of course, this late tournament, with the price of playing a full month of competitive football in ridiculous heats in the United States. We'll not have a normal pre-season, of course. We do have players playing a Cobham already. Esteval, Willian, or should I say Esteval, who agreed to draw from Palmeiras last year, and Gittins, who signed, may report earlier, given their teams were knocked out early in the Club World Cup. It is customary these days for footballers to do their own training while away on vacation to stay in shape, but it's obviously not the same as working together in a group. Chelsea saw the Club World Cup as part of their pre-season preparations. Mental, these kids need a rest. I think it's one of the reasons they wanted to secure Delap, Pedro and Gittins. I suppose maybe not pre-season in terms of fitness and conditioning, but emotional and social and tactical integration into Chelsea. Into Enzo Maresca's Chelsea. This is me speaking, not Twomey and Johnson. Yes. But Chelsea have just 2 friendlies by Leverkusen and Milan before the Premier League opener against Crystal Palace. There are players who have been training at Cobham for 10 days now, but they are returning loanees who are expected to be sold. Yeah, I wonder if they'll sneak an extra pre-season game in there if they can. So how are the owners getting on? Topical. Todd Boehly has been the only one to break the public silence on Chelsea's ownership dynamic since the tensions with majority shareholders spilled out last September. Wow. Giving semi-regular interviews at various business conferences and most recently a short exclusive conversation with TalkSport. But even then, what he did not say was illuminating as the words as he chose. He said this on TalkSport. I think the form you've seen is everything we hoped for when we were putting together with co-sporting directors Lawrence and Paul. Badad and I couldn't be more grateful for the successes they had, and for all Chelsea fans everywhere. We're so thrilled, and thank you for sticking with us. We're really excited about what the future holds. A whole new world. Boehly did not shed any light on the health of his relationship with Clearlake co-founder and co-owner Badad Iqbali, the state of which was a prompt for both parties to explore the options to buy the other one out last year, remember? And obviously things were tough as well. At the time, it was a surprise to see Boehly walking out alongside United States President Donald Trump. There was a lot of surprise regarding Trump in that trophy presentation. As Chelsea's representatives in the Club World Cup medal ceremony on Sunday, given that it's Iqbali who remains the most actively engaged and owned in the club's daily operations. Yeah, you say that, Twomey, but he is the chairman, and you had Khalifi, what's his name, on the other side. So if there's going to be one representative, I think the chairman of Chelsea makes sense. Because he gets to pull rank on that for a bit, doesn't he? That's what I think, anyway. The relationship is described by sources with knowledge of the situation as professional. That's nice, because they weren't seen together for a while, and they have since been seen together in a few occasions watching Chelsea games, which is nice. But the issues arose last year have not gone away. While Chelsea are functioning successfully within the status quo, it's hard to escape the conclusion that something has to give as the club seek to navigate big decisions ahead. Yeah, look, the stadium, basically. So the stadium's a big problem. I think one wants to move, one wants to not move. I don't freaking know. There is a big segment here on the stadium redevelopment. I'm going to skip that because we've done that to death. We'll go straight to front of shirt sponsor. Chelsea are talking up to 10 major brands and are looking at signing a long-term deal worth $60 million dues a year, or pounds, should I say, a year. That's more in dollars. Yeah, look, 10 major brands doesn't surprise me at all. I did a video on this 2 days ago. Chelsea are in the strongest negotiating position they have been in, A long time, maybe when we just won the maybe like in 2016. We'd already had Yokohama ties on the shirt, and maybe when we signed with Free, we'd recently won a couple of Premier Leagues. I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's been a stronger position, but sponsors will look at Chelsea. They'll have the Club World Cup badge on their shirt for 4 years. They're in the Champions League. They've got a young team that if you sign a 5-year sponsor, front of shirt sponsor deal with Chelsea, these young players are going to get better. So with that all in mind, we might not have like Eden Hazard, Diego Costa, N'Golo Kante, you know, whatever, all these players, Thibaut Courtois in goal. That, you know, we're not like this like senior superstar all-stars where sponsors want their brand on the shirt. They're like, well, they're becoming stars and they're going to be stars for a long time. And, you know, yada, yada, yada. I think this could be the strongest position we've been in. Or maybe just after we'd won a couple of initial Premier Leagues under Mourinho. But even then, we were new money and you didn't know where it was going. We're established now. But yeah, so it doesn't surprise me there's 10 suitors. And 60 million quid a year, yes, absolutely. We had 60 million quid a year from 3. And that was years ago now. And with inflation, had we just continued to be good, you'd probably want that to be over 60. But I get it. You know, they almost took a 40 million quid a year ago. But obviously, now they're back in the Champions League. Now they've got the Club World Cup, Club World Champion status for 4 years. They were right to keep their powder dry. So yeah, they feel like they're in a strong position. The club believes they want to be associated with the best young team in the Premier League, like Palmer, Esteban, Moises Caicedo, etc. Pretty much what I've just said. Chelsea have the potential to be one of the best sides for several seasons. With the right, without a club, yeah, like I said, also, and being the only club without a front of shirt sponsor right now means they do not face competition from rival clubs. That's another thing to consider. So they'll be lining up. They've received bids over the past 12 months, but there were much lower sums for a shorter length of time. A conscious decision was made to wait, and yeah, it's been proven right to do so. You would have to see. Can Chelsea win the Premier League next season? That's a subjective question for you, my dear sweet viewers and listeners, to answer yourself. And in terms of being back in the Club World Cup in 4 years' time, at the time of recording, there's no guaranteed mechanism that being the current holders means we qualify for the next one. For example, like the Champions League. That's yearly, of course. Yeah, man. So that's a nice little catch-up. What do you think, though, about Chelsea's current position? What do you think about the quotes from Jose E. Feliciano? Yeah, man, and what do you think about, you know, transfer targets? I quite like Morgan Rogers personally. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Thank you as always for supporting the content, for liking this video, for subscribing to this channel, Football Therapy. We are on the road to 200k. We're getting there, man. And similarly, on the second channel, Football Yannick, here it is. We're like on 18.6 thousand daily uploads on there as well. I'd love to get to 20,000 before the end of the season. Sorry, the end of the summer. The end of the season, upcoming season, who knows? But at the end of the summer, I'd love for that channel to get over 20,000 subscribers. So if you do want us to help me out and you've got to the end of this video, that means you like me. Thank you for that. You enjoy the content. Either that or someone's just left it on in the background and other people are going, turn this ruddy bollocks off. But if you are listening, do go subscribe to Football Yannick. All right, mate. Have a lovely time. See you soon. Peace.